Alright, guys, so exercise for improving thoracic mobility, which could help with that overhead position. Down on the ground, make sure your bum's back on your heels and your bum stays there. Okay, and then all you're going to do is put your hand at the side of your head, alright, and then rotate, but think about rotating from just your upper back. You're not wanting the hips to twist at all, as far as you can, and then come down. Okay, so actually keep this arm straight up. Oh, my arm's bending there. Alright, so just do 10 each side on that. Okay, so also consider hip mobility wise. So I'll give you two exercises here. First one, in your high plank position, and bring your foot up outside your hand. Okay, you can put another rotation in as well, and then bring the elbow down as close to the ground as you can. Alright, but you're not allowed to let the knee kick out to the side or forwards. Okay, so you've got to have a vertical shin, and you're trying to get that elbow as close to the ground as you can. Alright, keeping the back legs straight as well. The second exercise is going to be in your 90-90 position. So 90 degrees at each knee. Sit up tall. First of all, just see, can you actually sit up without having your hand to the side? Because even just sitting in this position could be quite good. And then what you're going to do is try and elevate this rear leg. Alright, and if you can do it from here, great, but the chances are you'll have to put your leg on the, or sorry, put your hand on the ground. You just elevate it slightly, okay, and then kick back with it. You're not trying to straighten the full leg out, and you'll feel your glute and your hip working there. Right, if you need to be down here, then so be it, but yeah, try and stay as upright as you can, and do 10 on each side of that. And the previous exercise, do 10 on each side on that one. Alright? Okay. So guys, another mobility exercise you could do to help with this, to help with kind of ankle mobility and the shoulder mobility of it as well, is go into a split stance here. So you're inside a rig, or let's give it a door frame, would probably work quite well. And you're going to try on this one to get your knee as far forward as you can without lifting the heel. Okay, at the same time, you've got your shoulders back, head up, and then you just straighten out the front leg, come down, get that knee as far forward as you can, as long as your knee's not collapsing inwards. Okay, so you do 10 of these on each side. Alright, that's a good mobility exercise for the ankles and the shoulders. Okay, so to actually kind of get into a better position, overhead squat, there's ways we can kind of start easier and then make it gradually more challenging. So the first kind of starting point is doing it in a kind of supported way, holding on to the bar here. Trying, in terms of the width of your hands, if you're here, with your elbow kind of below the wrist, okay, then go from that kind of width, maybe slightly wider, okay, yeah. Right, it's about 90 degrees at the elbow when you're in this position. And then obviously set the bar up at height. For me that's about what, kind of shoulder height. So probably a bit higher than what you'd have for a kind of normal back squat. And then just come down and up in this position here. Okay. Maybe doing about 10 of these. And then from that, we then go into like a pause squat, so you can progress to coming down and just pausing for about 3 or 4 seconds before coming back up. Okay, so in this position here, just make sure your arms are straight, your knees are pushed out. Okay, so get a good stretch in the thighs, your knees in line with your toes, chest is up, and if you've got a mirror side on, so if you can see where the bar is there in relation to that mirror, or in relation to the back of my head, so you want the bar level with the back of your head, and if you want it over the top of your feet. So obviously when people squat without this support, quite often the bar's there. So let's try and get into that position, push the chest through, getting the bar over centre of gravity. Okay. Probably worth just checking that first actually before you start doing reps. After that, you would then, so I'll just turn the camera around. You can do what many of you have already been doing and set up a target height. Okay, and this could just be done with a PVC pipe. Sorry, I should probably dive over this, but with a PVC pipe or like a brush shaft, and you would have your target, okay, coming down, but see if we can still keep that pipe level at the back of our head and still the knees pushed out, okay, and just come up and down super slow when you've got a target to aim for your bum. If you do struggle with that, then what you can do is you can even just start with coming down in this position and then bringing the bar on across your shoulders to just stand back up and then reset your position at the top. Okay, and then you can obviously just keep your arms up the entire time, and then you can get rid of the step. So that's probably like your progression, is to do it with a support from a fixed bar and trying to get into that proper position, and then doing it with some pausing at the bottom as well, and then progressing onto the step. So yeah, go for that. Alright, so let's talk about exercises for stretching now. Now, the mobility exercises, put them into warm-ups where you're kind of like moving like slowly, but you're still kind of doing reps. Whereas between workouts, put some static stretching in where you're holding it for maybe 45 to 60 seconds. Could be a good idea. So one of the ones you could do if you've got bands is put your hand through the band like that, alright, and then just stretching like one lat at a time, so just stepping away, and then you can play around with the angle as well, so you can turn your hand outwards, turn it inwards, okay, sticking the butt back, getting a really good stretch of your lats. If you don't have a band, you'll not be able to do the rotation as much. Well, you can hold on to a post or a door handle and do a very similar thing. So maybe doing half the time there and half the time on the inside, and just playing around with that. And then we can also do a chest stretch. So if we're tight here, then that muscle's effectively shortened. So that's where we can get a lot of problems with rounded shoulders. So you can put your elbow, forearm up against a wall or a door frame, okay, and then the elbow's about the same height as your shoulder, and then just turn away and just hold that position right there, okay. Yeah, the other issue can be tight ankles. So it's maybe worth checking this at home. Like if you've got a wall, you can get a measuring tape on the ground, and you could look at how far away from the wall can you get, and get your knee to touch. A bit closer there. Get your knee to touch without your heel lifting. So looking at ankle mobility. Okay. So that's a wee check you could do. In an ideal world, you're looking at a good outcome, maybe about 4 inches in terms of the distance you can get your toes away from the post or the wall. Alright, so if you're less than kind of, let's say even 3 inches, 3 to 4 inches, ankle mobility could be an issue. So a stretch you could do for that could be just holding your foot up against the wall, okay, or drop it, maybe even better, drop it off the edge of a step. So if you've got your foot on the step and dropping your heel off, but if you don't have that, you can just do this one here, okay. But yeah, probably slightly better would be having your heel off the edge, okay, and just get some deep calf stretching going, okay. So you could do like legs straight, But you could also do the same thing with your knee bent. Okay, so that's going to be more calves. This is more soleus at the base here. Alright, so that's some static stretches you could do to help with your squats as well.